Bill Watson joins Jack's interview, and his role is simple yet pivotal, to initiate the absorption of Jack into the hotel's influence. This absorption works as a doubling, a mechanism to ensure the audience becomes both conscious and unconscious of the hotel's power. The doubling concept implies that two parallel timeframes are being drawn together from different planes of existence. Watson wears a brown outfit accented with a diamond-patterned tie and delivers the line, "This ought to be quite a change for you." Now notice how Kubrick subtly shifts the framing. The outer asymmetry of the desk contrasts with its seemingly symmetric inner form, a portaling glyph, layered with meaning. The office itself hides its asymmetry behind the illusion of symmetry. This is deliberate. The establishing shot of the office has already shifted twice, starting with the outer window as the focus and now centering on the desk. Similarly, Ullman exhibits shifting behaviors. His right-left orientation changes within the sequence. In the wider shot, which includes tables and chairs, Ullman is framed on the right, but in a tighter shot, he's now framed on the left. This suggests the presence of two Ullmans, disassociated and possibly demonic doubles. If you look closer, you'll notice the subtle discordance between these eerily similar shots. Kubrick achieves something remarkable here. This visual dissonance acts as both a forewarning of the horror to come and a primer for understanding the hotel's power, its unique language. Through these shifts, Kubrick reveals the complex, hidden mechanisms of the Overlook Hotel. Notice the room's design is anything but typical. Behind Jack and his mirrored counterpart, Bill, are corners and columned shapes that defy simplicity, creating shaded depth. These elements, combined with the hidden asymmetry, allow Kubrick to subtly manipulate how we process the scene. By playing with left and right cortical perceptions, he blends and hides information, presenting it as innocuous but carefully calculated details. These lateral values stabilize the horizon, whether it's present in the frame or not, while introducing unstable vertical shifts. This dynamic echoes the room's asymmetry, much like the unsettling nature of the girls who aren't twins later in the film. Although it may seem primitive on the surface, this approach is one of Kubrick's most experimental pursuits in The Shining. He's not just telling a story, he's using neuroscience, paleoneurology, and the brain's own mechanisms to both terrify and craft a new visual language. Jack eventually sits down, and the reflection of himself in the glass on Ullman's desk becomes a key visual. The framing of Jack and Bill shows memorials of the hotel's past, framed pictures that subtly initiate the hotel's portal-like animations, starting from the inset wall behind them. Kubrick also begins to center specific details, like left and right eyes, depending on the sequence of shots. This culminates with the alignment of Jack's and Ullman's right eyes. Even the elevator's initial mask follows this principle of asymmetry, centering on what appears to be a left eye. It's a deliberate visual cue, loaded with meaning, as Kubrick continues to weave his layered and unsettling narrative. Ullman mentions the winter of 1970, while the film playing at its midpoint is titled Summer of '42. His outfit becomes an extension of the miniature US flag on his desk, a clever scale mirror. The lines on his shirt mimic the flag's stripes, and his hands, folded in repeated patterns of asymmetry, animate similar extensions. Notably, he never folds his hands in a way that suggests prayer. His blood-red tie foreshadows the torrent of blood that will flow from the elevator's left door just one scene later. Kubrick intricately connects these elements through mirror logic. In Ullman's single shot, we see another side of the mirror, suggesting that there's another Ullman, a reflection, or perhaps a separate entity altogether. This is where Kubrick begins subtly distorting continuity, revealing a mirror world that exists without a visible mirror. The eagle perched behind Ullman is a key symbol. It represents the spirit we metaphorically flew in on. As the scene progresses, the eagle shifts slightly to the left in successive shots, reinforcing the idea that we're now in the mirror world, standing beside or behind this fragmented portal. This Shining. While the special effects in The Shining are seemingly primitive, their meaning is anything but. They hint at alternate physics, symbolic gestures akin to game mechanics, and the creation of new visual languages. For example, an enlarged shot of the eagle establishes its significance within the room. Kubrick even plays with the order of Ullman's hand movements during a cut, flipping the sequence to create yet another mirror, this one temporal, not visual. These two realms are distinctly different, and our awareness determines which side we perceive. As the shots tighten, Jack becomes the focal point, subtly warned by Kubrick's optics and more directly by Ullman himself not to engage. In many ways, the audience is Jack. Both are unaware of the Overlook's mirrored realms. Meanwhile, Danny gains awareness and Wendy chooses to avoid it entirely. Kubrick masterfully leaves us in the dark about what Danny knows, leveraging the power of silent film storytelling to heighten fear of the unknown. Even Ullman's hands carry meaning. His gestures animate eagle forms, the cuffs resembling wings that flap, bridging us to the ominous tale of Grady's axe murders and subsequent suicide. These layered symmetries, outer and inner, are pivotal, though not all details are explicitly revealed. Kubrick leaves enough mystery for us to continue exploring this mirrored reality long after the credits roll. Eye contact with the audience. Jack makes his first direct glance toward us during this scene, a subtle yet chilling moment that predicts his frozen stare from inside the photograph at the film's conclusion. The hotel's hell lies in this gaze, never returned, forever fixed. The trapped souls in the hotel's photographs, like Jack, remain frozen and semi-conscious. When asked how his wife and son will react to the hotel, Jack briefly glances at us before confidently stating, "They'll love it." As Ullman recounts the grisly tale of cabin fever, early American discord, and the previous caretaker's slaughter-suicide, he introduces Charles Grady, who will later reappear spectrally as Delbert Grady. The conversation then pivots to the Torrances, where we are presented with Jack's second interview sequence. This includes a photograph that reappears in the film's final shot, positioned alongside the infamous 1921 party photo. It creates an aggressive yet subliminal connection between Jack, the corporeal man, and Mr. Torrance, his incorporeal counterpart. Behind Jack, the shadowed inset wall contains two vertical edges, subtly echoing the frame of the photograph he ultimately becomes part of. Jack is visually miniaturized, his figure blended into this shadowed structure. The framing places him at the exact distance from the wall where his final image will reside. The scene even aligns Jack's orientation to mirror that of the photograph, which, hauntingly, is located just a few meters away in the lobby. Through this visual choreography, Jack becomes part of the Overlook's legacy, his transformation depicted step by step. Jack mentions teaching as a way to make ends meet, a reflection of what is visually happening in the scene. In an earlier shot, Jack's head straddles the shadow wall to the left. In the final eye contact framing, he has shifted to its right, now metaphorically absorbed into the hotel. Note the gleam on the doorway's frame, a subtle visual cue. Kubrick carefully links the photograph's final position with the ghostly window framing behind Ullman earlier in the sequence. These objects bear passing resemblance yet symbolize different states. Jack's physical demise in the maze and his eternal imprisonment inside the photograph. Kubrick is banking on our subconscious to fill in the gaps. Animators call this tweening, the creation of frames between 2 points of motion to suggest continuity. This method is one of many complex visual transitions in The Shining that challenge traditional language's ability to describe. When Ullman refers to the Overlook's malevolent force, he chillingly calls it something. Kubrick's mastery lies in his ability to juxtapose the mundane with the complex. While the dialogue is straightforward, the visuals carry an enigmatic depth. Western cinema often reverses this dynamic, or simply equates the two. Kubrick, as always, transcends convention.